Y'all ready for this? Here we go. Said she promised she gonna marry me. Oh, yeah. But she run away. She promised she'd be faithful to me. Oh, yeah. But she scheme on me. Say she take all my money. Oh, yeah. She take my car. Oh, yeah. My virginity. Oh, yeah. Is with her now. Oh, yeah. Not going crazy. Oh, yeah. Can't even sleep. Oh, yeah. Can't even eat. Oh, yeah. I don't want to drink. Oh, yeah. I should have listened to mommy. Oh, yeah. I should have listened to papi. Oh, yeah. Man, this girl had to take my ring. Oh, yeah. I nearly married the golden. 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 Wreck and scrap. Oh yeah. Scandal. See the rush? Mash the rush, man. Get ready again. Here we go. Said she promised she gonna marry me. Oh yeah. Then she ran away. Man, she promised she'd be faithful to me. Oh, yeah. But then I get you with Stevie. Say she take all my money. Oh yeah. She take my car. Oh yeah. My virginity. Oh yeah. Is with her now. Oh yeah. Now I get a little crazy. Oh yeah. Can't even sleep. Oh yeah. I can't even eat. Oh yeah. Don't want nothing to drink. Oh yeah. I should have listened to mommy. Oh yeah. I should have listened to papi. Oh yeah. Man, this girl so good she take my ring. Oh yeah. I nearly married the golden. Watch it for a wolf and she floats now. I nearly married the golden. Clean on the outside and the devil on the end. I nearly married the golden. Man, she's the one who proposed to me. I nearly married the golden. Now I got a new girl. So girl, wine, 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 wine. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Go down, 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 down. Oh, come up, 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 up. Oh yeah. Wine, 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 wine. Come on, yeah, shake, 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 shake. Go down, down, oh, go down, down. Come up, 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 be up, up, up. Now breathe. Yeah, y'all thought we was finishing. Everybody, clap your hand. That's it. Come on, jump with your style. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Stern, 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 stern. To the bow, 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 bow. To the port, 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 port. Now stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. Hey. Stern, 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 stern. Now bow, 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 bow. To the port, 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 port. Now stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. Use it. Oh yeah. Scandal. You don't know how to come style? Let's do the come style. Come on. Knock on Johnny.
Lord, do you think this man is mine? All day I've been home with these little baby kids. And he reached me. Huh? Well, anyway, I gonna fall down the road to see if he down this place down the road. And if he down there, there gonna be some problems. Because guess what? I got a headache and I tired mine. Every other night, Andrew would call around there. Tell him, nice little wife, we gotta work late. But he goes to the bar to catch a few with the boys.
This is 99.5 Global FM, your number one source for R&B in the Bahamas.
Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madera Street.
Tuned in by way of radio. I am being told that you can't hear me. Producer, let me know if you can hear me now. I'm not sure why you weren't able to hear me before. Okay, he can hear me now. Okay, good stuff. All right, welcome to all of you, and welcome to this edition of the Masterclass Monday here on GPS as we look at the Constitution of the Bahamas. My resident professor, my resident guide every Monday is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson, who is here once again to lead us through the Constitution. But I have to say, Professor, thank you so much for doing a valiant job and filling in for me last week. I was all the way on the other side of the world in some very, very cold weather, missing the Bahamas. And I was getting all kind of messages saying, boy, Michelle, Professor holding it down. He carrying on. I say, what? Good stuff. Good stuff. That's the professor, you know. That's the professor. What you expect?
Well, thank you for the compliment. I think it was an exciting week. And the ratings were extremely high on radio and on Facebook. I'm delighted to see that the Bahamian people are interested in national issues. And I was delighted to serve. It was a great week. And I think that the Bahamian people are going to be hungry for much more as we move forward. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for filling in for me. I really do appreciate that. And
Yes, ma'am.
I had no doubt that you would handle it fantastically well. And so thank you again for filling in for me last week.
Thank you very much.
So we're going to pick up where we left off the week before last week.
Yes.
Talking about the Constitution of the Bahamas, because that's what we do every Monday around these parts.
Right.
And so once again, because you couldn't, apparently I couldn't be heard at the top of the show. I think it's some new earphones I bought, because once I took those out of the laptop, then I was being told that you could hear me. So for those of you who are new around these parts, let me once again throw out the contact information, how you can become a part of the conversation today. The telephone numbers to call are 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. The WhatsApp line for messages and calls is 801-0271. That is 801-0271. We're streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm and Global 99.5 FM pages. If you haven't already done so, please like and share the show. Also coming to you live on rumble.com. Look for rumble.com. All one word, no spaces in between. And please like and follow my channel there. Well, speaking of channels, we're on Cable Bahamas, channel 974. And you're invited to watch us there. Or you can download the Global 99.5 FM app to your smart device and carry us with you 24/7. Last but not least, welcome to all of you tuned in by way of radio for this Masterclass Monday show with Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson. All right, Professor, where did we leave off? Can you remember?
Article 19. We were on Article 19.
Article 19. Okay, let me quickly scroll there. So we can pull that up. Article 19. Let's see. 19 is quite long.
Yeah, it is. I think we were down as far as G or H, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me see. G says, we covered the infectious disease to prevent the spread.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we did talk about that. Okay. So I guess you start from that point and come forward.
Well, if we covered that, then we could talk about G. We could start at G.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, but no, we talked about the infectious diseases because I explained to the people that the possibility was that your rights, your individual right. Remember now, this article was talking about the individual rights of the person.
Right.
Which can be superseded by the rights of the majority of the people in a given community because of a particular situation that may occur. So
let me read from the beginning of 19 so they can get a better understanding.
Okay, fair enough.
So 19:1 says, no person shall be deprived of his personal liberty, save as may be authorized by law in any of the following cases.
Yes.
If we go now to F, for the purpose of preventing the spread of an infectious or contagious disease, or in the case of a person who is or is reasonably suspected to be of unsound mind, addicted to drugs or alcohol, or a vagrant for the purpose of his care or treatment or the protection of the community.
Yes. Now, let me just comment on that because we seem to have too many vagrants around.
A lot.
Compared to be unsound minds. It's a theory that we need to deal with because I can tell you that I've had some disturbances in my area of persons who are just making noise in the middle of the night, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. They are making noise and talking loud and doing all kind of foolishness. Mm-hmm. But we're not getting the kind of cooperation from the police when these kinds of things occur. I've had people come right in front of my house playing loud music. And it's very disturbing, particularly on a Sabbath when you're resting. Mm. And for persons who meet on Sunday, you got all this loud music going on 7 days a week. And I know it's contrary to statute law, but you have certain persons in the community who believe that they have a right to just pump their foolishness into the privacy of others. So you're trying to listen to a religious program. You can't it clearly because you're being drowned out by persons on the outside who got their music very loud. And we have not been getting the cooperation of the police to do that, because I know when I call Central Station, they always don't have no car. They can't get nobody to come. They tell you to call 919. Now they're telling me you got a place down on DeVoe Street where they're supposed to be dealing with certain areas that affect that particular communities. Now, if they split it up in all these different silos, I don't think the people are aware of that. But when you call Central Police Station, you would expect the police to act responsibly. But you do not get, and I know this is my area, you do not get the cooperation of that station on anything. And I told the police officer that. Now he's telling me about going down all the way to DeVoe Street. And they are not available 24 hours a day. The lines are not open like that. So something happens in the middle of the day, the middle of the night. You have people creating disturbances in the community. You make a call to Central, nothing is done. So they got to organize themselves, because you have the nuisance criminal activity, loud noises, banging, making noise, doing all kind of foolishness. But it's to the annoyance of the residents in the community. That is a nagging problem. Some people got unsound minds. They are vagrants just drifting through. And they create a disturbance. So the very peace and tranquility of the community is being disturbed 7 days a week.
You know, it seems that if you drive through just about every street, and I mean, back in the day, you may have seen one, maybe two, but now, I don't know if it's because of drug addiction, because, you know, we've been told now that fentanyl is on the streets of New Providence now, and other dangerous drugs that have been here. But it seems that there's this drastic increase in the number of persons who are just had gone. They having the most, you know, serious arguments with invisible people.
Yes.
And others are just staring into nowhere. And you can see that these people are lost. And you talked about the police not, you know, responding.
No,
but
they're not responding at all.
Facilities to accommodate all these people. That could be a part of the problem as well.
Well, then you see, the police force is supposed to be there for the protection of the people. That's their job, right? Now, if they're not able to do that, then tell us that. Tell us, what do we do when you can't come? You just leave a lot of things hanging up, and they're telling you, you see something, say something. You call them, you get no response. And people don't have time to be wasting like that and not getting the cooperation that is essential and necessary for a stable and peaceful community. And I'm sure that other areas down in Mason's Addition, it's the same problem, with a particular member of the society in that area constantly being harassed, constantly being disturbed, having gone to the police numerous times. And they know of the problems that he has. And this person is physically challenged, and you're not getting the cooperation of the police in matters like that.
The bottom line is, so according to our Constitution, those persons should not be on our streets.
That is correct. So therefore, the government of Bahamas needs to look at that. That's why I tell people all the time, look at what the Constitution says. Because the government of the Bahamas, through its agencies like the police force, ought to be fulfilling the requirements of Article 19. Now, when they can't do it, then tell the people they can't do it, and let's get someone else who is prepared to do it. It's just that simple. But here you are, you have people, they have the authority, they have the resources available to them. But the citizenry is left in limbo because of the lack of cooperation from the Royal Bahamas Police Force. That has been going on for too long now. And I know it's happening in Mason's Addition. I know it's happening in other parts of the constituency. But it has to be dealt with, and people need to do something about it. I've said to people over and over again, we go through these exercises discussing the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Bahamas, and some people got upset with me about Article 24.1, which I've used frequently on these shows. but they just don't understand the importance of constitutional law. If you remain not knowing, not understanding, that's not helping the situation. If you don't know how to act on it, then ask someone who can help you. Because unfortunately, Miss Malcolm, I even hear up to today misinformation, false information, incorrect information by personalities who profess to know what the Constitution says and they don't know it, but they're spewing out wrong information to the Bahamian people through the airwaves and in their writings and in their communications. They're free to have their communications now. I'm not getting into that part of it. But what are you saying to the public? Is it constitutionally sound, yes or no? Because you have ministers of the government, members of the House of Assembly, members of the Senate giving out misinformation on the supreme law of the land. I won't talk about these other funny things they got down there. But the supreme law, which is top-notch law in the country. And people just don't understand because they're getting all kinds of misinformation. This one say that one say that. And I simply ask them, what does the Constitution say? Because you see, if it is not constitutionally sound, it means absolutely nothing. And that's what I told this team that is having this particular matter dealt with. I told them you have to be constitutionally sound. And so I think they're in good standing, even before they went for their attorney. So the thing is that people have been talking for more than 50 years and did nothing. You think just coming on the airwaves and saying a few words is going to do it? The answer is no. If you don't take decisive constitutional action, you'll be talking for the next 50 years and 8 months and nothing would happen. That's what I'm trying to get people to understand. You must put the knowledge to good use, even as this team did. And they're getting worldwide appeal on that. But I didn't expect that at all. But I wanted to help them as best as I possibly can because I got the document and I went through. It took me a couple of days. I wanted to analyze every single thing they had, every word, every sentence, every paragraph, from top to bottom. And there were some things I had to point out to them which were not constitutionally sound. And now even the attorney of that group, he's more excited than me. And that's a good thing because he came to see that what this group of Bahamian patriots had said was constitutionally sound. Yes, people will have their differences. Yes, people will have their ideas. I tell people plainly, you have a right to have your idea, just like Article 24(1) says. But is it constitutionally sound? That's a whole horse of a different color. Because people continue to express this idea, that idea, the next thing. And you had a particular caller who was calling into one show today and was saying that the Bahamian people need to organize themselves to do something about it. Now, what are you going to do? How are you going to organize yourself? It just stops right there. And that bothers me because there is a way to do it constitutionally. And that is where many of these pressure groups fall down on the ground because they can't get any further than to talk. So nothing happens. That's been going on for more than half a century. I had to wait for 50 years before the people decide to wake up. We better look at this Constitution again. I'm happy that they did.
All right.
I think we can make some progress.
Let's continue on with 19.
Yes, ma'am.
Go to 19G. Boy, now this one is very timely considering the news that just came out of neighbors to the south.
Yes, ma'am.
It says, for the purpose of preventing the unlawful entry of that person into the Bahamas, or for the purpose of effecting the expulsion, extradition, or other lawful removal from the Bahamas of that person, or the taking of proceedings relating thereto, and without prejudice to the generality of the foregoing, a law may, for the purpose of this subparagraph, provide that a person who is not a citizen of the Bahamas may be deprived of his liberty to such extent as may be necessary in the execution of a lawful order requiring that person to remain within a specified area within the Bahamas or prohibiting him from being within such an area.
Okay, you finished with that, right? Okay,
Yeah.
There's a lot right up in there that would take the whole show right to the end. All I'm saying is this aspect of the law, the authorities have fallen down badly. We have too many people walking around in our nation who have not been restrained, who have not been put under control, who are here legally. Now, they try to use a different term, but if you are acting unlawful, it's illegal. You don't make excuses for people like that.
Right.
Nobody makes any excuse for me. In fact, when I did the show last week, someone called in about, the person started to make excuses about we need to change the Constitution. I had to tell the producer to cut him because we don't need to change the Constitution.
Change the Constitution for what?
To accommodate the personalities who he felt he had some sympathy for. I have no sympathy for lawbreakers. Wow. They have me. The point is you cannot continue to pile up your nation with strangers and foreigners and aliens and outsiders. And they're supposed to be take, quote unquote, the oath of allegiance. Allegiance to what? And allegiance to who? These people have no interest in being loyal to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. That's point number one. Point number two, they break up their own country. And the thing is, they come to take over somebody else's territory without the permission of the people who are there legally. And so they operate in an illegal environment from the time they set foot in on Bahamian soil. They've been doing it for a long time. The fellow say he was there for 27 years illegally. So how come he hasn't been deported?
Mm-hmm.
They have failed to deport persons who are in the country illegally. We have not been arresting them, bringing them under control, and getting things done according to Article 19, where they should be dealt with. And we really have to look at what is happening. That's why I keep saying to the people, watch what your government said. Listen to what they say. Let me make sure I get it right. Listen to what they say. Watch what they do. Then you analyze what they are doing. Is it constitutionally sound? Yes or no? The man said he didn't violate no law when he made those Haitians Bahamians. A piece of paper. A dead man he made Bahamian. His wife he made Bahamian. And he made his 2 pigeons that he had, underage children Bahamian. Then turn around and tell us he didn't violate no law. What kind of nonsense is that? That is all contrary to the Constitution. But that's the way they behave. And no one, we just sit right back and allow this foolishness and this nonsense to continue to ride on and on and on. You think it's going to go away like that? No way.
Lack of knowledge. The Bible tells you what happens when there's a lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge. Now, that is true, but you have to utilize the knowledge. And you had a group of people decided to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was happy to help them. I wish we could get more people to look at our country and see that there is a need for many things that need to change in this country. Many things. But all you can do is grumble and complain for the next 50 years and expect something to happen? Or are you going to say these people who have been given the authority, see, I always tell people this. We respect the fact that the Bahamian people gave certain powers to particular personalities, and I say that for a specific reason, particular personalities who have been given the authority to do some things on behalf of the Bahamian people, but they fail you. So what do you do then? All you do is just grumble and complain. You'll be doing it for another 50 years. And guess what? They'll continue to fail you because you've never corrected them. Listen, the hardest thing for a human being to do is to admit error and change.
Mm.
And I tell people, all of us got carnal nature, including the professor. So I got to watch myself. So when I met with this group of patriotic citizens, I had to be upfront and honest with them. And that's the way it has to be. Doesn't matter what you may think about this or think about that. Fine, you could think those things. That cannot hold up if it's contrary to the Constitution. The unfortunate thing in our country is we've allowed a whole army of law. Let me just say this. You know what's going to have to happen? There's going to have to be a committee set up to investigate every piece of legislation we have in existence in this country to see whether it's constitutionally sound, yes or no. And all that is not constitutionally sound need to be declared null and void.
Now, let me ask you something, Professor, because, you know, what we are discussing here is as it should be, but our reality is so very different. And I don't know which government, which administration in this Bahamas will be bold enough to do what you are recommending needs to be done. Let's just be real now. These fellas, they ain't gonna try to open a can of worms. They ain't gonna do it because...
Okay, so the Bahamian people have a remedy for that.
Mm-hmm.
Are the Bahamian people ready to open it up? Because I go in all the way back to July the 10th, 1973, and straight forward right up to now. I think it needs to be opened up. Are the Bahamian people ready for that? See,
that's a good
if
question.
you have present, no, it's a good question. If you have, and here's what I say, I answered constitutionally. The Bahamian people are not without hope. You do not put your trust in flesh and blood, skin and bone, who glorify themselves to the detriment of the Bahamian people. In fact, God tells you about them in 1 Corinthians 1, 24 to 31. God cannot work with people who glory in the flesh. He doesn't work that way. He said, not many mighty, not many noble are called. But guess who we call? The weak, the foolish, the base, the despised, and the nothing. 5 categories of ordinary citizens who he will wake up to bring to nothing the things that are. That's how God is going to do it, because he cannot work with persons who are so glorified in the flesh, who think they're this, they're that. I know more than you. You know more than me. I got more degrees than you. I'm smarter than you. God can't work with them kind of people. Either you be humble and be willing to listen and admit when you're wrong, and the evidence is all in front of you to find out whether that is so. That's why I tell people, watch what they do, listen to what they say, watch what they do. But there's a possibility you can change it. And you have to ask yourself whether you're prepared to do that or not, because the Constitution allows you to do it.
We're gonna take a break. When we come back on the other side of the break, we're gonna be talking about what has been hindering that from happening over the years. Some of it can be put at the feet of the Bahamian people themselves who complain about it because of their unwillingness to do what is necessary when it comes to their personal interests. That's one aspect. And then there's another aspect that deals with persons who've been making legal arguments against the Constitution and what it says. So we're going to talk about all of that.
I think it's going to be interesting. You can deal with both of that, those 2 points and
more. What's been hindering this from happening? We're going to talk about that on the other side of the break. Stay with us. This is GPS.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for a rim fix and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Trackline, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, all-terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun.
Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here in your company with Professor Sidney MacArthur, Walter Thompson on this Masterclass Monday as we look at the Constitution of the Bahamas. The telephone numbers to call are 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, or the WhatsApp line for messages and calls is 801-0271. That is 801-0271. We're streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm and Global 99.5 FM pages. Please like and share the show. Also coming to you live on rumble.com. That's rumble.com. Look for Global Paradigm Shift, all one word, no spaces in between. We are on Cable Bahamas, channel 974, and you can download the Global 99.5 FM app to your smart device. Carry us with you 24/7. Last but not least, we would like to welcome all of you who are tuned in by way of radio, whether it is from here in New Providence or throughout Commonwealth of the Bahamas or around the world. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My guest this and every Monday is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson. We're talking about the Constitution of the Bahamas, and we are specifically on Article 19G of the Constitution, which talks about the purpose of preventing the unlawful entry of a person into the Bahamas or for the purpose of effecting the expulsion, extradition, or other lawful removal from the Bahamas of that person, or the taking of proceedings relating thereto, and without prejudice to the generality of the foregoing.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, what I don't understand, Professor, is how is it that when it came to certain cases within the Bahamas, lawyers were able to, it appears, effectively argue that it was unlawful to detain people who had entered this country illegally.
Yes.
So clearly they were not referring to the Constitution of the Bahamas when they
No, they were not.
made that argument. So how is it that the opposing side wasn't able to say, no, according to our Constitution, this is this and that is that? How is it that they were allowed to carry that argument so far with success when our Constitution is very clear on this matter?
Yes, I'm glad you asked that. Now, it could only be one or two things. Number one, those persons who are running the country, who have the authority given to them by the Bahamian people, do not know what they're doing. They just do not know the Constitution that they ought to govern this country by. Now, Bahamian people got to face the harsh reality. We have 50 years to prove it. The very same people you put your confidence in, the government of the Bahamas, and let me just stress when I say the government of the Bahamas, because the Constitution speaks to the government of the Bahamas, not governments. You have different administrations of the government of the Bahamas doing the same foolishness, the same nonsense from the very beginning, and they did not make any changes to it. You got legal minds in the Attorney General's office who ought to know better, didn't correct the government on this error and other errors they have been committed, constitutional errors that they have committed against the Bahamian people. Not a single attorney, no KC, QC, BC, AC, DC, whatever name they call themselves. The record is there to prove it conclusively. They haven't said one single thing, have done nothing. All of these legal minds, all of these legal brains, for what? You are not interested in protecting the interests of this country because the Constitution speaks to some very specific, clear-cut things which they ought to know. But it is clearly evident they don't know what they're doing. And that's why the country is so messed up now. You have another jailbreak in Haiti. And it is said, as I got news on this, that some of them are headed this way. And I heard the Commodore of Defense Force say he's going to do some things, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But we should not be reacting like that. You wait until something happens, and I'm not saying he's wrong for making the announcement because I heard exactly what he said.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not knocking that at all. But we should have been protecting the borders of this country from July the 10th, 1973, when we became an independent nation. We have allowed it to the point where we got so many strangers and foreigners in here, we don't even know who we have.
Mm.
We have a high crime wave. We got all kind of foreign nationals in here. What is the connection between the foreign nationals who are nameless, faceless people, and the crime wave? So who's committing the crime? We get the rap that Bahamians are committing the crimes. I even heard a former commissioner talk about some people who are not Bahamians. He say they're Bahamians. I say, since when? Because they certainly don't behave like me. I'm a genuine Bahamian. You got some people who are paper Bahamians. So the point is, number one, the persons who have been elected to do the national business of the people do not know the Constitution. I can say that with certainty now. Number two, I said you talk about those people who have this legal training, the Bar Association. I haven't heard the Bar Association say anything. They haven't challenged the government of the Bahamas on the constitutional wrongs that are being committed, have been committed, administration after administration after administration. It hasn't happened. And here we are, 50 years and almost 8 months. And nothing has happened until some patriotic Bahamians decide, you know something, we can jump into this water and catch one big fish. Huh? Ordinary citizens. Check 1 Corinthians 1, 24 to 31. The weak, the foolish, the base, the spies, and the nothings. I'm one of them in the nothing class. But that doesn't mean you stay nothing, because God is going to raise up people to do what the leaders themselves were paid to do and are not doing. That's why the country is all messed up today. And Bahamians need to realize that the action by these few individuals on behalf of the Bahamian people is not enough. We have all kinds of problems that people are discussing and talking about. I heard one particular personality on the radio today. The question is, what are you going to do about it? You have people talk in their little circles, in their barrooms, in their homes. I see people do this all the time. I ask the question, what are you going to do about it? Then all of a sudden, everybody goes silent. That doesn't make any sense. You have the constitutional authority. Ms. Malcolm, please read Article 24.1.
Okay.
Then you get it, but I just want to put that up. Because, see, I want to deal with Article 24.1. I also want to deal with Article 23. But 24.1 first. Because people don't seem to understand. And I want to explain the difference between party representation, parliamentary representation. We are not getting any parliamentary representation. I certainly ain't getting it in Centerville.
Okay,
None.
let me go ahead and read 24.1.
24.1, please do. Yeah.
24.1 says, except with his consent, no person shall be hindered in the enjoyment of his freedom of peaceful assembly and association. That is to say, his right to assemble freely and associate with other persons, and in particular to form or belong to political parties, or to form or belong to trade unions or other associations for the protection of his interests.
Now, I can just deal with that last part. To form associations for what? For the protection of his interests. It talk about political parties, talk about trade unions and all of that. That's fine. I have no problem with that. We have churches. We have lodges. Are the Bahamian people ready and prepared to protect their constitutional interests? Yes or no? Or are you going to allow some personalities who you may have elected to run your national affairs, to run you up the gum tree and cause all kinds of problems as we have today in this country? And all you do is sit on your backsides and do nothing about it?
We have a call on the line, Professor. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good afternoon, Michelle.
Good afternoon.
I hope you enjoyed your trip. Good afternoon, Professor.
Good afternoon, sir.
Michelle, the Minister of Health said the other day that they were putting in the proper protocols to deal with Article 6 with the recent ruling from the Privy Council, which allowed single Bahamian men to have the children become Bahamian, even though they had it with a foreign woman. That's fine and well. But what Professor is saying, and what I agree with also, they haven't dealt with the ruling on Article 7 yet, which happened 5 months before that. Okay? There was a ruling in the Jane Charles Rooney case where the Privy Council agreed that if you do not apply between the age of 18 and 19, right, you're not entitled to fill out an application for citizenship. Yet we have everyday who are over the age of 19 being gazetted, but they say that they're applying for Bahamian citizenship. You know who all agreed with this, Michelle? You had Casey Fitzgerald from Doughty Street Chambers. You had Fred Smith from Callender and Co. You had King's Counsel Tom Poole, the UK, and you had Kayla Green Smith from the Attorney General's office, who represented the Crown. Then you had Lord Hodges, Lord Hamlin, Lord Kitchen, Lady Rose, and Lord Reed all agreed that if you do not apply for Bahamian citizenship before your 19th birthday, you can't get it. When Rooney left the Privy Council, he left there the same way he came, as a Haitian citizen. Fred Smith was begging for a work permit for that man when he came back to the Bahamas, because the Privy Council did not grant him citizenship. The Privy Council did not even grant him permanent residency. What they gave was an arbiter dicta as to the way the government can go forward with it if Rooney had met the prerequisites of receiving a permanent residence. But yet they going ahead and trying to fix Article 6. Will I need them to fix Article 7, Michelle? Professor?
Yes.
I need them to fix Article 7. Article 7 judgment came out on the 15th of December, 2022. Article 6 judgment came out on May 4th, 2023. 5 months later. Why are they rushing to fix Article 6? You know why? Because those other people can get citizenship with the last judgment. The Privy Council came down there. The one that came down in December, it would revoke every citizenship from 1973 under the Bahamas Nationality Act. Because remember now, that was a landmark ruling. What goes for one, goes for all. Here's the particulars. Ronnie was born in the Bahamas, allegedly, in the Princess Margaret Hospital. Okay? It simply means that any individual that was born in the Bahamas, in the Princess Margaret Hospital, and do not apply before their 19th birthday, as for a Bahamian citizenship, they cannot get it. That's a ruling. But
Right.
no one will touch that. No one will put the protocol in place to stop the Nationality Act.
Yes.
And it angers me, right? The Bahamas Nationality Act, not well, section 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9 is illegal. It is forming part 2 of the act. The only way for that to work is if you alter the Constitution based on Article 54.
Yes.
I see the Prime Minister right up to date with the Nationality Act. He's singling. And he did not, if you read the Tribune, he did not give nothing definite. You know why, Michelle? They cannot touch that the Constitution without an alteration. It angers me, Michelle, because, see, they take us for fools, and it's an affront. And as Bahamians, I had enough of this. As a Bahamian, I had enough, right? Martin Luther King said a man is not fit to live unless and until he finds something worth dying for. My country, my Bahamian children, the sovereignty of this land I'm willing to die for. Final thing, Michelle. You see that turmoil what's happening in Haiti right now, that civil war?
Right.
Jimmy, Jeremiah, that's Barbecue, a.k.a. Barbecue. He instigated, allegedly, the prison break. You know what he's saying? We want our sovereignty. We just doing it, the Patriots just doing it a different way, you know. We doing it a civilized way, civility. We taking it to court. But the guys in Haiti is doing the same thing that the Patriots doing. The only thing that they're doing it differently is they're doing it in mayhem and carnage. But it's the same result they're looking for. Man, listen, give us our country. And I can send a final warning out. No more illegal passports given out in this country. And I can talk to the Haitians and every other foreigner. Y'all could afford to give the Prime Minister and these immigration officers, allegedly, y'all money. Y'all wasting y'all money. Y'all have to go back to them to get y'all money. Because what they are doing is cannot stand against the Constitution. The Constitution is the supreme law of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, subject to the provision of this Constitution. If any other law is inconsistent with this Constitution, the Constitution shall prevail, not may, shall prevail, and the other law, to the extent of its inconsistency, be void. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Professor, and God bless the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling in. Really appreciate it. Very passionate young man there, Professor.
Oh, yes, he's accurate and precise on the Constitution. This is what I'm trying to get the Bahamian people to understand. When the Patriots came to me, they asked for my advice even before they went to an attorney. They had their case down, packed, constitutionally sound before they saw the attorney. Now, of course, it took some convincing. But you hold your point, I hold my point. But I said every single detail must be constitutionally sound. It cannot be someone's opinion and it's not constitutional. And that's what they did. Now we need others to follow that example, to become constitutionally sound, because we got all kinds of issues that have developed over the last 50 years and 8 months to the detriment of the Bahamian people by those persons you gave the authority to run your national affairs. Now, the Bahamian people have a responsibility to make sure that they understand the quality of the people you are sending to do your national affairs. We haven't done a good job on that. We get mixed up between party and parliamentary representation. Party representation versus parliamentary representation.
We have a call on the line, Professor. We have a
yes,
call on the
ma'am.
line. Caller, welcome
Yes.
to GPS.
Thank you, Ms. Malcolm, and welcome back.
Thank you.
Good day to Professor.
Good day.
Yes, listening to your show every week, and it is so vexing to listen to the show and no one would call in or would come by and explain if Professor is saying the wrong thing or what he's teaching is not right. No
Yes.
one.
Why you think that is, caller? Why you think that is?
Well, I'm sure a lot of people wondering the same thing. This has been going on for a while, Professor, been on your show.
That is correct.
And it's just, I don't know. To me, it's so disrespectful to the Bahamian people. It's like they throwing it in our face, like they don't care how smart or they don't care what we say. They're not gonna listen to us, even though the law says it. It's so disrespectful. I just can't get it. At least somebody come on the show and say something. I mean,
yes, ma'am.
Unless they're thinking that we don't have no sense of what they want us to do. They want everybody to get mad and just get up one day and rise up and don't care. Somebody needs to show up and say something. This has been going on too long.
Too long, yes, ma'am.
And this thing has not stopped. They're still giving out citizenship. The people
Yes, they
still
are.
come in, and nobody is saying nothing. What they want us to do. Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna hang up
Thank you for calling.
Michelle, let me just answer the caller. And I think she has a valid point, and I thank the other caller that called before her. Bahamians, when a government fails to carry out its constitutional duties, you have to take action against that government. Pure and simple. We don't have to beg them for anything. We don't have to be running behind them for anything. Remember now, you can do something about it. And stop cowering because the Constitution gives you freedom of expression, freedom to impart ideas and opinions, yes, but also to act on these constitutional articles that are written for your benefit, for your protection. And there's nothing the government could do about it, Bahamians. You need to be constitutionally organized throughout the length and breadth of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Right at this point as I speak, you will not reach that point yet. And I say this to people all the time. Well, some say, Professor, how do you know? I have been watching this for 50 years. I waited for 50 years for the Bahamian people to wake up. They woke up when Her Majesty the Queen passed, and they begin to say, well, we got to look at our relationship with the monarchy in England. That's fine. I got no problem with that. I vex with no one because you were sleeping for 50 years. But the point is now people are waking up to what's happening. You do not have to wait for the government to say anything. All you do is use your constitutional authority to get what you want, irrespective of whether they do or do not do. And that's where you need to be thoroughly organized throughout the length and breadth of this country to take the necessary action that is essential to bring change. That's why I always refer to Article 24.1. The very last phrase of that article is what gives you the answer. For the protection of your interests. Do you have any interest to protect? Yes or no? And if you have it, then there's work that has to be done. I am sick and tired of hearing people complaining every day on the radio. And I'm not saying you shouldn't express yourself. The Constitution says you could do that. But what do you do when the radio show is over? I've been working for a long time, you know. I do more work off air than I do when I'm on air. Because that's where the real work has to be done. It's off air. And Bahamians need to understand the importance of organizing themselves constitutionally. You're not there yet. You're stalling. You're wasting time. You wasted 50 years and 8 months. How much more time do you want to waste? Stop waiting for people you sent to the House of Assembly who are not doing what you expect them to do. There's a remedy for them. And we know just what that is because the Constitution tells you what that is. I think we're going to a break.
Yeah, we're going to go to a commercial break.
Yeah, okay.
And when we come back, we're going to continue this conversation.
Oh, yes.
We're looking at the Constitution of the Bahamas, line by line, article by article on this Masterclass Monday with Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson. Stay with us. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors. This is GPS.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after
Your
this.
body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Trackline, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
It's gotten harder and harder to get your daily requirement of vital nutrients from food alone. Without additional vitamin and nutrient support, your health and well-being can suffer drastically. That's why Z-Radical was specifically formulated. It combines a blend of antioxidant-rich vitamins, minerals, and botanicals with the protective powers of fucoidan to help fill the gaps from lack of nutrients in your foods. The core of Z-Radical is fucoidan, a naturally occurring polysaccharide that helps stimulate immune reaction, protecting you against inflammation and oxidative stress. We harvest this powerful mineral-rich nutrient from brown seaweed, harvested only from the world's most pristine ocean waters to ensure the purest quality. It's then extracted using cold process technology to ensure maximum levels of bioavailability. Then we add essential vitamins that help to protect your cardiovascular and nervous systems and are crucial for optimal immune and neurological function. Z-Radical also includes a proprietary blend of delicious antioxidant-rich fruits and berries. This great-tasting combination helps your body combat free radical imbalances that can contribute to a variety of degenerative conditions like arthritis and heart disease. Z-Radical. Experience the power of fucoidan with antioxidant-rich berries, 8 essential vitamins, and more to provide you with potent health benefits. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
And we are back. Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here on this Masterclass Monday with Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson as we go through the Constitution of the Bahamas. We are streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm and Global 99.5 FM pages. Please like and share the show if you haven't already done so. Also coming to you live on rumble.com. That's rumble.com. Look for Global Paradigm Shift, all one word, no spaces in between. And I'd really appreciate it if you would like and follow my show there. We are coming to you on Cable Bahamas Channel 974, and you can download the Global 99.5 FM app to your smart device and carry us with you 24/7. You can also call in 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, or the WhatsApp line for messages and calls is 8010271. That is 8010271. And of course, welcome to all of you who are tuned in by way of radio, whether it's from here in New Providence, Grand Bahama, across the country, or around the world. So, once again, on this Masterclass Monday, my guest is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson. I got to stop calling you my guest, and you now my co-host, Professor. My co-host on Mondays. He's not my guest anymore. You only guess after a certain amount of times, and then after that, you go to people's house over and over again, and then you sit up waiting for them to serve you. You better serve yourself. You ain't no more guests. So,
let me but when you finish, Ms. Malcolm, I'll comment.
Go ahead.
The lady asked a question. She said she's not hearing anything from the authorities.
Right.
And I can tell you something what Scripture says, Luke 11:46. I was trying to find it. I know I had it right here in my notes. But the living Jesus Christ, who died for all of us, didn't mince any words when he talked about the legal profession. He talked about them laying heavy, grievous burdens on people, and they wouldn't lift a helping hand with their little finger. That is what they've been doing from the time of Jesus Christ right on up to now. How many people in this country have been fleeced by personalities in the legal profession? See, that's a real issue. And you're putting those very same personalities to run your national affairs in your Senate, in your cabinet, as representatives of the House of Assembly. Just check Luke 11, verse 46. We're a nation under God, the supremacy of God. And this is the answer to what the woman had asked, why they haven't said anything or done anything. And if they are prepared to challenge anything that I say, they can do that. Identify yourself, come clean with the Bahamian people, and show them from the Constitution where Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson is telling untruths to the Bahamian people. I certainly can tell you that there are many things that people are saying, even as early as today, or as late as today, misunderstanding. Information that is very confusing to the average Bahamian. People want to know what this document says. And you got a lot of people out there purporting to know, and they don't know. They never knew. All they're doing is spewing out misinformation, false information to the Bahamian people. And that's why many of those quote-unquote pressure groups can't move any further, because they're getting misinformation. They don't know what to do. Yes, they will talk. Yes, they will have their meeting. Yes, they can do all of that. But you're not using the knowledge of the Constitution to get where you ought to be going, even as the Patriots did. You need to follow their example. And that's very important.
Okay, so let's continue now with
Yes, ma'am.
Going through the Constitution line by line. We stopped at 19G.
19G, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to find my way back there because we had
Yes.
skipped over the 24-1.
Yes, we did.
Okay, so let's see, 19, here we are. 19G concludes 19.1. So you had 19.1A through G. Now 19.2 says, any person who is arrested or detained shall be informed as soon as reasonably practicable in a language that he understands of the reasons for his arrest or detention, and shall be permitted at his own expense to retain and instruct without delay a legal representative of his own choice, and to hold private communication with him. And in the case of a person who has not attained the age of 18 years, he shall be afforded a reasonable opportunity for communication with his parent or guardian.
Okay, now I can deal with the first part, then the second part.
Okay.
Number one, there have been many Bahamians who've been complaining when they are in custody by the police, they're not afforded contact with an attorney or whoever they want to meet with. Some have been treated very badly while they were incarcerated. And they feel very strongly that their rights have been violated. I've heard many people complain about that over and over and over again. And I said to them, what are you going to do about it now? Now, with those who are underage, yes, they're still minors. They're not 18 years old and upward. So it is the responsibility of those who incarcerate these people that they get in touch with their guardian or their parent. That's constitutionally sound. And in some cases, that is not even happening. See, these constant violations by the authorities makes life very, very difficult for families because parents are wondering, well, where are my children? You heard a lady came on and she said some time ago on the radio that she didn't know what happened to her son. And then when she came to find out, he was no more. So what happens in a case like that? Having been denied the opportunity, even being an adult incarcerated, to get in contact with the person or persons they want to contact. No permission being granted. See, this is a major problem in our country. And people have died in custody, not able to get in touch with an attorney. You got to be careful of them fellas now because, you know, they got some terrible ones. Luke 11:46. Don't forget that, Bahamians. We have to run our country according to, one, the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and number two, the Holy Scriptures. So the two of them go together. Where the Constitution may fall short, the Holy Bible picks it right up and tell you about these fellas who are lawyers. Jesus himself said it. I go in with him. Now, does that mean all of them are bad? The answer is no, because he goes back, 1 Corinthians 1:24-31. He said, not many mighty, not many noble, not many who are legally trained are called. God can only work with a couple of them, not many. Now, God will pick the ones who we will work with. But you have to rely on God to help you because you're going through a minefield with personalities who have always had the wrong spirit, the wrong attitude in them. Can they repent? Yes, they can repent. Are they willing to repent? I don't know. But all you have to do is look at the behavior of these people who are called attorneys and KCs and QCs and BCs and DCs, and whatever other DCs they have. They have a reputation, and Jesus had to speak to it. Don't you ever forget what Jesus tells you, because that ain't changing anytime soon. They've been that way from the time he said it right on up to now. It only gets worse. I'm going to give you an personal experience I had. I went to see an attorney in 1971. When I came out of his office, something clicked in my head. You need to know the law for yourself. But I say, you got all kind of laws around here. Real estate law, criminal law, this law, that law, the next law. And then it clicked in my head that, listen, when I came to understand the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the supreme law of the land, Bahamians, I never turned back. That's why I went to study constitutional law. And I'm happy that I did back then. I didn't even know I was going to ever meet up with these people called the Patriots. Or in a situation like it is today where the country is dying because of the personalities who they sent to run their national affairs. I did not think about all of this. I didn't plan all of this. And the persons who are members of the patriotic team, I didn't know who they were at that time, all the way back in 71. No knowledge of it at all. And 2 times I went after that, helping the National Association of Justices of the Peace, and the third one, this current situation with Patriots. I've been attorney since. So I'm saying to you that there are things, Bahamas, you have to do. Article 24.1, for the protection of your interests. If you do not protect what the Lord gave you, then the Lord can let the fellas take it away from you.
So getting back to
Yeah.
getting back to this article. So, in other words, you need to know if you find yourselves in the hands of law enforcement, you really need to understand your rights as it relates to the Constitution, so that you don't become a victim of having them abused.
Exactly.
And if by chance you are victim, you do fall victim to having them abused, then once you do get yourself an attorney, you would have grounds to stand on to bring charges to say that this right was violated. I was not afforded this right. Yeah.
You're quite right. You're quite right.
So it's really important that we understand, what this is saying to us as it relates to incarceration and your rights to an attorney, that kind of thing.
That is correct. That is correct. Yes, that is quite right. And so I think a lot of people don't understand that, and that's why it has to be explained in simple, basic, fundamental language. And a lot of people who have been before the courts, who may hire attorneys and they lose the case for whatever reason, I think it's the duty of those personalities to tell them what went wrong. Because some of them feel maybe the system was against them or the court was against them. But the point is, there's right and there's wrong. There's good and there's evil. And when you appear before the court, as the Patriots would do, it's either yay or nay. And so the thing is, you got to understand that people get frustrated because they don't understand how the system ought to work. They don't understand what the Constitution says, and they don't understand all these other things what they got as law. The average Bahamian doesn't know, and they need to be taught.
We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Yes, good afternoon, Michelle. Good afternoon, Professor.
Good afternoon.
Professor, one of the biggest problems we have in this country is that when it comes to constitutions and law, I find that in the Bahamas that our governments do not know their own constitution, nor do they know other countries' constitution when they make these agreements. For instance, in Haiti, even though Ariel Henry was appointed as prime minister, but he could not become officially prime minister unless he was ratified by the Parliament of Haiti, which never happened. So basically, you have a man who is basically signing documents who is not being ratified by the Parliament. So anything signature he puts his hand onto should be null and void. That is what the Kenyan opposition leader said to them. This man is not legally or constitutionally by the Haitian constitution is the leader of that country. We cannot go into no agreements with him because he has not met their requirements, not ours in Kenya. And we in the Bahamas should follow the same thing. If you pay attention to your Article 11, which is the role of the Governor General in citizenship, you realize that if the Governor General found that you, as a Bahamian professor, or Michelle, as a Bahamian, has citizenship in another country, they can automatically revoke that right off the books. They don't care if you have to do it. They telling you the Bahamas law states you should not have dual citizenship.
That's
the reason why I'm saying this is that you have people like from Haiti and other countries who have dual citizenship, who cannot renounce. But you as a Bahamian government is saying to them, come to the Bahamas and we will give you citizenship. Where you telling the Bahamian, if you go elsewhere, we will take your Bahamian status from you.
That's
because they can only give you the Bahamian status. They can't touch the foreign status. So for me, I now realize that out of the 37 members of Parliament, I believe might be one in there might have some understanding of constitutional law, which is Alfred says. But the rest of those, I don't know if to call them criminal lawyers or real estate lawyers or lawyers in training. They do not know the Constitution. Because I've been to Parliament, I've took my Constitution with me,
Yes.
and then I show them, I say in the eye pop out like children who just saw Santa Claus for the first time.
Exactly.
So it tells me that we have a bunch of people in our Parliament who does not know the rights, the laws, and the duties that they have.
Yes.
So when you hear them talk, you know, I told people, no, I don't pay attention to Mr. Mitchell because he be spewing stuff out the mouth that I can't follow.
Yes.
And I listen to the Prime Minister who rambles on with the nationality, and I was like, these guys don't know what they're doing, because if you can give a fellow born in Haiti citizenship and then give it to his children when he died, then it just means you don't know the Constitution.
Yes.
So I appreciate you all taking my call, and you all have a good afternoon.
Yeah,
All
thank
right,
you
so much for calling. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for calling.
Yeah. Michelle, you want to comment on that, or?
No, you go ahead.
Oh, yeah. No, what the call is correct about the office of the Governor General. Because we do not, in this country, according to our Constitution, allow for duality of citizenship. That's not allowed under our Constitution. Call is absolutely correct on that point. He also talked about the personality in Haiti who is signing things, but he has no legal authority. Our government is doing the exact same thing. Signing things where they have no legal authority under our Constitution to do so. That's why we got to check every single agreement that the government of the Bahamas has entered into. So why are they keeping these things top secret? The Bahamian people are supposed to know ahead of time what it is that the government of the Bahamas proposes to do when signing agreements or arrangements with other nations. What authority does he have to get into Haiti's business? What authority under the Constitution does he have that? He seemed to be more interested in Haiti than Bahamians. We got all kinds of problems there. But the point is, if we sit back and do nothing about it, as we have done for 50 years and 8 months, what do you expect to happen? You're going to allow a few individuals who you sent there, yes, you sent them there, but then the people don't know what they're doing. That has been the track record from the very beginning. Now, you may have that particular personality who may know better, but I'm going to tell you right now, knowing better and doing nothing about it doesn't amount to anything. You're just as bad as them fellas who don't know, who are pretending. So you got plenty of people who are legally trained, pretending to know the Constitution, never knew it in their life. I've proven that all the way back from 1971, right up to now. Now, they aren't going to tell you, because they want you to believe that they know. But there's a way to test them and prove whether they know or not. Like I simply say, if you think that Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson is telling a fib, telling a lie, misleading the Bahamian people, come forth and tell the Bahamian people and show them from the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas that, listen, the Patriots are wrong, Professor Thompson is wrong. Here's the evidence. Here is the proof.
All right, let's move on. 19.3. Now this one, boy.
Yes, ma'am.
We are suffering through this right now.
Yes, we are.
And people are like, I don't understand why y'all keep giving these boys bail, but this can explain it right now. And then we got to talk about what we can do about this situation. 19.3 says, any person who is arrested or detained in such a case, as is mentioned in subparagraph 1C or D of this article, and who is not released, shall be brought without undue delay before a court, and if any person arrested or detained in such a case as is mentioned in the said paragraph 1D is not tried within a reasonable time, he shall, without prejudice to any further proceedings that may be brought against him, be released either unconditionally or upon reasonable conditions, including in particular such conditions as are reasonably necessary to ensure that he appears at a later date for trial or for proceedings preliminary to trial. So in other words, if you are a person who has been brought before the courts, charged with a crime, they cannot hold you indefinitely without granting bail because of the length of time. It has to be what is said to be a reasonable length of time before you can expect to be brought back for trial again. So in other words, it is unconstitutional for them to charge you with a crime, hold you for 5 years before your trial comes up. And I'm just pulling that number out of the hat. We have a call on the line. So before I let Professor go into details, let's go to the caller. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Yes, Malcolm, welcome back.
Thank you.
We had a great time in your absence. I hope you had a great time where you were.
It was too cold. It was too cold where I was. Cold and rain every single day.
Well,
So-
we're glad you're back. We're
Me
so
too.
happy you're back because you do an excellent job of making sure the community is aware of what we
Thank
need
you.
to know. And I just heard that last caller refer to our parliamentarians and their lack of understanding of the Constitution. I'm not sure, Professor Thompson, that we're dealing with a lack of understanding, you know. We might be dealing with just dishonest people. Because I'm looking at a Nassau Guardian article from Friday, August 19, 2022.
Yes, ma'am.
And the headline says, Folks, who's a former Governor General, backs plan for citizenship bill. But former GG says constitutional change is what's really needed. So at least he acknowledges that a citizenship bill is not ideal. I guess he was expressing his agreement because Mr. Folks is also the child of Haitian parents. And so what I'm looking at, and I'm very annoyed about, is we've had these people who have a greater affinity to the country that is their parents' country, or the country where some of them were born, but wanting to claim Bahamian citizenship rights, wanting to serve in the highest office with a loyalty to another country. That's called treason.
Yes, ma'am.
But God has been good. We have other noted attorneys, Mr. Maurice Clinton, who is a noted constitutional scholar. His area of law, like yourself, he's a constitutional scholar, Brother Thompson.
Yes, ma'am.
And he has warned that the granting of citizenship through ordinary legislation means that another parliament can revoke that citizenship. Well, not just another parliament. The people, the 50+1% of the Bahamian people, along with the courts, have the same authority, and we're calling them in on it. Also, Mr. A. Loftus Roca, a former member of parliament, former national security minister, and signatory to this constitution, he said in the same article that he does not believe the government's approach will work because you cannot alter the Constitution by ordinary law. End of story. You cannot alter the Constitution by ordinary law. Now, they have to thank God that we were so busy trying to get our little paycheck and so busy believing that they meant us well, that we left it this long. But the courts of the Bahamas are constitutionally mandated and equipped to defend our Constitution and to defend the Bahamian people. And I thank God for them, Ms. Malcolm, today, because there are 4,000 convicted criminals. I don't know what level of criminality. You know, it might be that they were just locked up because they oppose the government, but I don't think so. I think out of that 4,000 people who were let out of jail, we have some real murderers in the midst. And we need to be protected as a community from their arrival to this place. So when I hear the manager of Bahamas Air come on and tell me, well, we only cancel the flight to make you all feel better because we've landed in another part of Haiti. Are you stupid? Any part of Haiti for a Bahamian plane to land is a potential of bringing death to us.
That's right.
What level of stupidity are these people getting away with? Why did we elect them in the first? You know, we got to make some immediate arrangements for Ms. Malcolm. We have to make some immediate arrangements to get people who are operating in the best interest of the Bahamas and the Bahamian people. Enough of this insult. continuous talk about what's wrong with Haiti. Whatever's wrong with them, it's their business, and they need to fix it. God bless you, Ms. Malcolm. Thank you very much, and welcome back.
Thank you so much for calling. Wow, that's a mouthful.
That's more than a mouthful.
You want to respond real quick?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I want to respond to that. I think she's right, 100% correct. And I've been saying all along, the Attorney General of today, the current one who is sitting there now, have been giving the government of the Bahamas very bad advice. He himself told them that they could use ordinary legislation, which is unconstitutionally sound, to change or to usurp the authority of the Constitution. He told them that. This very same one who's there now. So that tells you the kind of mentality these people have. Bahamians, you got to look at this thing very seriously.
We have another
because
call
they
on the
are
line.
doing in us.
We have another call on the line.
Oh, we
Let's
have
take this
another
call.
caller. Okay. Right,
yeah,
yes.
caller, welcome to GPS.
Hello.
Hi, you're on the air.
Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Malcolm, and good afternoon, Professor.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I just called to weigh in on this situation.
Go ahead, caller, we're listening.
Yeah, I just called in to weigh in on this situation. I was just listening to Haiti news, and, you know, they had a jailbreak, 2 jails. So they got, you know, a bunch of criminals that's out in the streets of Haiti. And God forbid, and I know they're going to come on this boat and they're going to come here to the Bahamas. But what I'm really looking at is our next point of view for Bahamians. And I hope every Bahamian who is listening understand this. We have to stand up. We have to stand up now to this government that we have in place ruling over this country. If we do not stand up to this government, we are going to be in some serious trouble. We are not too far gone. But if this election passes sitting down in our houses, thinking about the next meal, the next job, we're going to be in serious problem. Now, I know what happened because I live here in Eleuthera. And we got 1 million of them walking around. Can't speak one word of English. 19, 17, 16. When the police and immigration went down to Blackwood, you know what happened? The Haitian people, them run them. But that didn't, you never hear that here. Okay? We have a serious crisis in this country, and we need to fill the square. If we don't fill that square immediately, we're going down a rugged road.
When did this incident, before you go, when did this incident allegedly take place about the law enforcement officers being run by illegal immigrants? When did this happen?
This happened in Eleuthera, down in Blackwood. But I would tell you this, Miss Malcolm, you never hear nothing but it, you know. But see, they got to remember.
When did it happen? That's my question. When?
This happened, I think, about 2 to 3 weeks now. I think they just went down there to put the writing and the thing that they putting on the houses to be removed.
Uh-huh.
But they think I'm not. You say that again?
And what happened when they went to put up the notices?
They got run. Immigration and police.
What do you mean they get run? Be more specific, please.
Miss Malcolm.
Yes.
When somebody running you and you trying to get away, they got run. Tell them.
You trying to tell me? You hold on now. You trying to tell me? Police officers who I'm assuming were armed, and immigration officers went to put up notices on I'm assuming what were structures in illegal shanty towns, and they were chased by people within those communities. That's what you're trying to tell me?
That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. The people say they come here and they glad the people coming here to take over, and ain't nothing no one could do. All right? So we faced with a serious problem in this country, and we got to bite the bullet right now. I mean, I see all the talk show, but then something got to be done, man. We got to do it now.
All right. Thanks for calling, caller. I got to look into that to see, because I mean, I know I was away for a week, but I ain't hear that. If that is in fact true, then we really got a problem.
Yes, we do.
Because
that is true.
And no foreign entity is supposed to be able to chase your
law enforcement people.
Law enforcement office. No, man.
Yes.
Nicole, I hope and pray that you have been misinformed. Because if that's the truth, Lord help us all.
That's right.
Okay, we have to take a break. When we come back on the other side of the break, we are going to go back to the portion that we started to speak about before we received those last two calls.
Yes, ma'am.
Calls, which is the Bail Act. Getting a better understanding of why these people who are accused of these crimes are given bail time and time again, and what can be done to change that or fix that problem from a constitutional standpoint. Stay with us. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors. This is GPS.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
At Lee Air, safety is our #1 priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all. Schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
One of the things I love about the mailboat is their relationship with Bahamas Air. I can earn travel points on my international freight and redeem them when I fly.
For me, online shopping is easy with Mailboat's U.S. addresses and regular freight delivery to Nassau. Plus, I can always prepay customs and freight, and they always notify me when my package arrives.
Yeah, a lot of people think the Mailboat is just for shipping, but they also offer a safe and secure storage facility at affordable rates, all in a central, convenient location.
We also offer passenger service into Freeport multiple times per week with a seating capacity of over 450 persons. With family movies on large screens, one hot meal included, and on-board lounge for snacks and soft drinks. We're the Mailboat. We're bridging people, products, and places.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings, all with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
We are back. Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Telephone numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. The WhatsApp line for messages and calls is 801-0271. That is 801-0271. We're streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm and Global 99.5 FM pages. Also coming to you live on rumble.com, rumble.com. Look for Global Paradigm Shift, all one word, no space in between. And I'd appreciate it if you'd like and share the show. Also, like and follow my channel on Rumble. We are on channel 974 on Cable Bahamas, and you can download the Global 99.5 FM app to your smart device and carry us with you 24/7. Last but not least, welcome to all of you who are tuned in by way of radio, whether it is from throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas or around the world. Welcome to GPS on this Masterclass Monday with my co-host, Professor Sidney MacArthur, Walter Thompson, as we look through the Constitution of the Bahamas, line by line, article by article, to give you a better understanding of your rights and responsibilities contained therein. All right, the Bail Act has been getting a lot of attention, Professor.
Yes,
people are wondering how it is that one person could be on bail for 3 and 4 different murders, keep going before the court, keep getting bail, keep going before the court, keep getting bail. The police complain and saying this is ridiculous, this is a revolving door. Fast as we could get them off the street, the courts put them right back out. But if you look at what the Constitution says, that can give some insight as to why this is happening. What can be done constitutionally to fix this long-standing problem?
Ms. Malcolm, I want you to read that again for me.
Okay.
From the top of the bail.
Okay. Just give me a second. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, please do. Yes, ma'am.
All right. So that would have been 19... 19.3.
I think 19.3. Yeah, take it from the top.
Okay. Any person who is arrested or detained in such a case as is mentioned in subparagraph 1C or D of this article, and who is not released, shall be brought without undue delay before a court. And if any person arrested or detained in such a case as is mentioned in the said subparagraph 1D is not tried within a reasonable time, he shall, without prejudice or any further proceedings that may be brought against him, be released either unconditionally or upon reasonable conditions, including, in particular, such conditions as are reasonably necessary to ensure that he appears at a later date for trial or for proceedings preliminary to that trial.
Okay. Now, you notice the Constitution speaks about reasonable period of time.
Yes.
What is a reasonable period of time?
Well, it doesn't specifically say that, does it?
Good. No, I just asked that because we have a problem with that. Has it yet been defined? What is a reasonable period of time? If you don't define what is a reasonable period of time, because he has to be tried before the court, he must appear before the court, that is in the Constitution, so we can't go contrary to that. Mm-hmm. Is the court, but like I say now, when it speaks about what is reasonable, reasonably justified, reasonable period of time, what does that mean? It may mean different things to different people. So it has to be defined once and for all. what is a reasonable period of time for this particular personality, whether it's for murder, whether it's for armed robbery, whatever the case may be, to be brought before who? The court, to be adjudicated. Now, that is where we have a problem, because the police have been complaining. They would go out, these people reoffend, keep reoffending. You had one fell out for 4 murders. Say he got bailed for 4 murders. Doesn't make any sense. So this is a matter that needs to be urgently dealt with, because we have lost some lives.
So let me ask you a quick question. We have a call on the line, but before we go to that call, what would need to happen to make a change to this article in the Constitution, to make an amendment? What would have to happen for that to take place?
You have to have a referendum.
And I want you to make it quick because we have that caller waiting.
No, you have to have a referendum. See, there are certain articles in the Constitution, and I think this is one of them, that if you're going to change anything in the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Bahamas, where there are entrenched provisions, you have to have a referendum.
So is it possible for a law to be passed to say, here on in, judges will now have to consider this length of time as it relates to this bail issue? So in other words, can they by law constitutionally put a cap on the amount of time that would be affected by this particular article? Is that can they lawfully do that?
What I'm saying is, it's a good question you ask, and I like these kind of questions. The point is, I believe Article 19 is an entrenched provision.
Right.
Based on that, any change to Article 19 must go to a referendum. It must be approved by the Bahamian people as the final arbiter. It will have to go through the House of Assembly, through the Senate, according to Article 54 in our Constitution. And then it has to go to the people.
Wow. All right.
But I think if we keep bandering around what is reasonable and what is not reasonable, because the Constitution is reasonable.
Yeah, but it doesn't define what reasonable is.
No, it's not defined. I understand that. I understand all of that.
Let's go to the caller. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Yeah, good day, Lady Malcolm, and good day, Professor.
Yeah, okay,
Hello.
good day.
Just how 98% of Bahamians, but politicians and lawyers and like, don't know or understand the Constitution of this country. The Constitution, when it comes to criminality, it says reasonable time. What we have that a lot of us don't know is we have a criminal act, if I call it the right thing, just like the Sexual Offences Act. That's what the parliamentarians made up. The duration, or if you are charged for murder, is 18 months. Several other offenses have their limitation. But because of criminality and unscrupulous lawyers, magistrates, and sometimes judges, they circumvent what the law is for so long, none of us really know. Well, I know about the murder one, it's 18 months. You should never get...
But that's according to the Act. But that's according to the Act, right?
Yes, according to the Act, yes.
Right.
That's what the Constitution gives you the right to do.
But now, hold on now. You're mixing up the two. Am I correct, Professor? Is he mixing up the Constitution with the Act when he says...
What he's talking about is statute law.
Right.
Statute law cannot supersede constitutional law. So,
even though the statute law provides guidance, a good lawyer could argue that is not constitutional. Is that correct?
No, ma'am.
They can do that. He has the right to argue his point because the Constitution allows for freedom of expression. See, all of these things you have to consider. He has a right. Freedom of expression, freedom to impart ideas and opinions. And some people don't like this, But that's what the Constitution says. Freedom to impart ideas and opinions without interference.
But legally, will that argument have any ground to stand on? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Okay. See, we got to use case files. That's what we're using, the Patriots are using, case files. But like I say, we've been criminals so long and doing all kind of funny things like not letting people go in locked up and making their calls to their lawyers or whoever. It's the same thing with the sex, with the sex thing, which you, how you call it, but not sex, with the crime act. It's the same thing. Look at Fred Smith. I never thought I'd use him. But when he goes to court and we do something untoward, what he does, he say, okay, you all lock this man up for too long, boom. He goes in there and he quotes law. There are laws. If you thief something, they can give you bail. But when you get that bail, you go back and you thief something, that bail is supposed to be revoked and you're supposed to be remanded. We don't do it. We get them off for money.
Based on the criminal act, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what I'm
that
trying
is the
to understand,
law to the Constitution.
Yes.
The Constitution allows for that.
What makes that a when you say slub law, what you mean?
Okay. I can use another one to drive it on.
Say that again?
The Sexual Offences Act. Now, people have been hollering rape and all that for married women, anything like that. But if you look at the Sexual Offences Act, the Sexual Offences Act, Section 15 through 15 ABCDF, deals specifically with marriages and that type of thing. So we don't have to create no marital rape or nothing like that because it's already there. It's just that the people who was pushing it ain't know it was there. And it's the same thing with this criminal thing. There are limitations, statute of limitations for each offense.
I don't know if you understand my question, but go ahead, Professor. And then
but see, the thing is,
we have a cell phone call on hold. But go ahead, Professor.
If he is saying that, and I'm not sure about what the call is, because that's statute law.
Right.
Constitutional law, you have entrenched provisions. If there to be any changes to that, you have to go to the referendum. Now, if what he's saying is true, and I'm not saying it's not, I'm just simply saying that they ought to follow the law. You have too many cases in this country where the law is not being followed, even at the statute level, and so this is creating a problem.
Professor,
yes,
I can go in a minute, but like I said, I use the murder thing. Back in the day, you couldn't get bail for a second bail for murder if you committed, if 18 months didn't pass. You would have been remanded to Fox Hill Prison for 18 months before you could even consider bail for murder. But nowadays, like y'all say, they're coming out in 1 year and 2 years and a half on four murder accused.
Yes.
That the laws are there. We just don't use it, and the criminal lawyers using it to their advantage to make money and to get their clients off. It is there. That's why a person like Fred Smith will go in court and run everybody out of there, because he will use the law. Like the same thing with the Patriots doing now, we using the constitutional, we using the law. So all them other things with them fellas doing and talking about citizenship, this and that and the next thing, out the window.
Now remember, caller, constitutional law is different from statute law. That's a big difference.
I totally agree with you. The Constitution allows us to make sub-laws that is not contrary to the Constitution.
Now notice what you just said. That is not what? Contrary to what?
That is in accordance with the Constitution.
Okay, fair enough. So obviously,
so the Constitution say in a reasonable time, so the members of Parliament can go in Parliament and say, what is reasonable for thieving? 1 week. What is reasonable for murder? 18 months. That allows you to do that. And it's there. We just don't use it.
Well, it should be enforced then.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for calling. Thank you for calling. Cell phone call, if you're still there, we're coming to you right now. But what I'm trying to understand is, if there are certain entrenched laws within the Constitution that can only be changed by a referendum.
Yes.
How is it then we can turn around and say, if we have a statute law that addresses a concern in the Constitution, we will follow the statute law as the law to be followed, as opposed to fixing it within the Constitution as allowed by law, to say go to a referendum so that we can change it, call it amendment to the Constitution, but have it, legally done, as opposed to somebody being able to argue to say, well, this is a statute law compared to a constitutional law. That's what I don't understand. But
okay, you're gonna take the call and I'll comment on it.
Yeah, this person has been holding. I don't know if they're still there. This person has been holding on a cell phone for a while. Caller, you there?
Yes, ma'am. Professor.
Yes, sir.
Now, I agree with you that Article 19 is enshrined, but it also tells you, basically, like Ms. Alcom was saying, to define the length of time. Here's how you can solve that problem without going to referendum. One, Parliament can go and make a statute law stating that this is the defined time. For example, let us go look at most of the murders are committed by guns. You could go back and enact your gun court, and you could define that through legislation that once you've been caught with a gun, the police fast track you to that gun court. And then you go to the court said, okay, the penalty for carrying a gun is X amount, you go to prison. Now, all the other charges that you have been charged with for using that gun will be covered because you've been already convicted, and then your case come up. You're not violating a person's right for bail and then you turn around and say, okay, you want bail. We now move away and implement a cash bail. And you could set the cash bail to any amount. So, for instance, let's say a guy committed a crime, went to on bail, demand bail, second time around. I say to him, your bail is now $250,000, cash bail.
Yeah.
You must present that. If you can't, anybody who's presenting that bail money for you must show legal standing where that money comes from.
Yeah.
If they cannot, they forfeit, and you have to go back and get another $250,000 bail. If you notice in Kansas City, with that Super Bowl championship celebration,
yes,
the two gentlemen who were caught, their cash bail was set at $1 million each.
Yes.
So these are things that Parliament can do that will not interfere with the Constitution. So the thing is do we have parliamentarians who got the guts, the will, and the stamina to make these little changes without infringing on the Constitution?
That's a very good point. Thank you, caller. Very good point.
I understand clearly what you're saying. No, there's nothing wrong with that. But that is not happening because the police commissioner is frustrated with all is having. See, when the officers have to keep going after these dangerous people, the possibility always exists that an officer can be killed. And others can die in a shootout because we've been having that all over the country. And I think this is something that Bahamian people need to consider. This is why it's important that we have to do something instead of allowing people to have all this confusion going on and witnesses missing and this thing happening, the next thing happening. Now, I agree with your sentiments that you mentioned that it could be done that way since that's an entrenched provision. But whatever they come up with has to conform to constitutional law. It cannot.
The caller is making a very valid point.
No, it's a valid point. I agree.
A way to deal with this is why should you, if you up for murder, why should you be getting a $5,000 bail?
$5,000 bail.
The amount of the bail should reflect the nature of the alleged crime.
That's correct.
So if you
that's not happening.
Exactly.
That's not happening, and that's the problem.
It's not saying that you are being denied bail. You just got to find a way to come up with that $500,000.
Come up with the bail, 500.
And if you can't come up with that, well, dog, eat your lunch. You shouldn't have been mixed up in the first place.
Mixed up in the first place, yes. And that is the problem with parliamentarians.
That's a
problem. It's a major problem.
That's another show. That's a whole other show. Well, we got to take a quick break. Let's take this quick break, and then we got to get out of here. So stay with us. This is GPS. We'll be back after this.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this. This is Global Radio.
Blood sugar levels play a key role in your appetite, weight gain, and overall health. When you have a blood sugar spike, you can feel confused, dizzy, and even have increased cravings. Eating carbohydrates, sugary or fatty foods, and not exercising can all cause blood sugar spikes. But now you have help in managing blood sugar levels. Sweeties by Youngevity was designed to help support healthy blood sugar levels so you can power through your day. It's a synergistic blend of minerals, herbs, and nutrients that have been proven to support healthy blood sugar levels. Sweeties includes chromium, an essential trace mineral that's known for its contribution to healthy blood sugar levels and improved metabolism of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Cinnamon bark has been included for its naturally occurring antioxidants and support of a healthy heart. And we've even added gymnema. It's been used in Ayurveda for centuries to help promote healthy blood sugar. All the ingredients in Sweeties work together to give the best support available for blood sugar control. Sweeties, the blood sugar support supplement from Youngevity that helps control cravings and manage blood sugar levels through your day. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Trackline, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
As you age, factors like health, weight, diet, and lifestyle can all impact your bones, joints, and general mobility. Even everyday exercise can lead to wear and tear on your body. Over time, you might start to experience stiffness or pain due to damaged joints or connective tissue. Ultimate Glucogel by Youngevity was created to help you limit the effects of wear on your joints. It delivers a daily dose of collagen-rich gelatin your body needs for joint elasticity and maintenance. Ultimate Glucogel contains a 1-to-1 ratio of gelatin and glucosamine sulfate, which is a key building block of your bone matrix, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, and connective tissue. Gelatin's unique blend of amino acids not only help with muscle and joint health, but also has been shown to provide additional benefits for the brain, skin, and hair. Ultimate Glucogel. Natural, optimal daily support for joint health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
It is 4:00. We got to get out of here. I want to say thank you to my co-host, Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson, for once again enlightening us as it relates to the Constitution. But our time is gone, Professor, so we got to get out of here. And thank you again for sitting in for me last week. So tomorrow's show is going to be really very, very fascinating show. I'm calling the show tomorrow Casualties of War. And we ain't talking about the kind of war that you think. Do not miss tomorrow's show. It is going to be eye-opening, startling, and for some of you, it's going to be hard to hear, but you need to hear the truth. So be sure to tune in tomorrow, 2 to 4 p.m. right here on Global 99.5 FM for Casualties of War. Until then, I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, everybody, and God willing, I'll see you guys tomorrow, same place, same time.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the